Hello everybody, it's Kobe Pope, owner and creator of Wolf Self Care Products. Happy Mag Facts Monday. Let me take a sip of water before I start this off. So today we're talking about infertility, pregnancy, preeclampsia, and cerebral palsy in regards to magnesium. And we're going to start off with infertility. Pottinger cat study on cats. He fed one group heat processed foods and another group raw meat and raw milk. Cat fed cooked food became infertile by the third generation in contrast to those eating the raw food. Don't know how the results can be translated to human experience, but we do know that heating food past the boiling point destroys vitamins and burns off magnesium and enzymes. Some minerals may be left, but the vital balance with other nutrients is ultimately lost. Okay. Migraines are caused by spasms in brain arteries, smooth muscle spasms, and the fallopian tubes can cause infertility. Hold on, I'm gonna start that back off. Just as migraines are caused by spasms in the brain arteries, smooth muscle spasms in fallopian tubes cause infertility. This may explain why so many infertile women get pregnant when they go on a whole food diet and take supplements including magnesium. Magnesium is acquired in higher amounts during pregnancy, so taking it enhances conception and also creates a healthier pregnancy. It also appears that male infertility is associated with magnesium deficiency. Both magnesium and zinc are found in very significant amount in seminal fluid. However, infertile men have much lower levels of magnesium, especially when they also have chronic prostatitis or prostate infection. On to the next topic we're talking about. Let's see. All right. Preeclampsia, eclampsia, and magnesium. I didn't highlight a whole lot in this one. Okay. Preeclampsia occurs in 7% of all pregnancies. Um, a rapidly progressive condition characterized by high blood pressure, hyperactive reflexes, edema, headaches, and changes of vision, and protein in the urine. Preeclampsia can escalate and cause seizures, which is called eclampsia. Eclampsia, I'm probably not even saying that correctly, but anyways, it's a serious condition that can cause premature labor, premature birth, and cerebral palsy in the newborn. Appreciate it. Um, According to the Preeclampsia Foundation, 1,400 women die each day. That is more than 500,000 each year worldwide from pregnancy-related causes. Mm, Headaches, blurred vision, upper abdominal pain, and unexplained anxiety can be the prelude to more serious symptoms of eclampsia. All of these symptoms may be due to magnesium deficiency. Where preeclampsia ends, eclampsia begins is a matter of degree and requires astute clinical observation. High blood pressure, seizures, dramatic fluid retention, decreased urine output, blurry vision, nausea, abdominal pain must be assessed by your doctor. It's a shame I have not highlighted a lot in this, so I'm actually kind of skimming with my eyes, so be patient with me. Alright, there was a study. Investigators found that magnesium sulfate can ease symptoms of preeclampsia and has reduced seizures stemming from eclampsia by 56% when given intravenously in a controlled environment by trained staff. The next statement should have been that the first thing mentioned in the treatment section, magnesium sulfate has been a standard treatment option in the U.S. since 1950. However, it is not widely used internationally. Damn. There's another trial. It took a decade to produce. It's in Bangladesh. 108 subjects were assessed, and 66 were diagnosed with preeclampsia. The mean serum magnesium of women with mild preeclampsia to severe preeclampsia was significantly decreased compared to Compared with control, a greater decrease in serum magnesium was also found in subjects with severe preeclampsia compared to those with mild preeclampsia. The investigators concluded that a reduction in serum levels of magnesium during pregnancy might be a possible contributor in the etiology of preeclampsia, and supplementation may be of value to prevent preeclampsia. Mm. Okay, note that serum magnesium was the test of choice, which we know is not accurate because you need ionize to accurately determine that because it is stored mostly in tissue and bone. Make sure, okay, mic's on. Alright, IV magnesium is the treatment of choice for pregnancy-induced hypertension. Magnesium should be used throughout pregnancy as an oral supplement to prevent symptoms of preeclampsia and achalampsia. Many researchers and clinicians recommend that pregnant women be followed with magnesium RBC testing and take 300 to 600 milligrams of supplemental magnesium. Always check with your obstetrician or healthcare provider before adding any supplement, but know that magnesium has a long history of safety for both mother and child. If pregnant mothers routinely take oral magnesium throughout pregnancy, studies suggest that it can prevent complications during delivery and postpartum and help prevent premature births. Clinical trials have demonstrated that mothers supplemented with magnesium oxide have larger and healthier babies and lower rates of preeclampsia, premature labor, sudden infant death syndrome, cerebral palsy, and birth defects. What has become apparent in recent studies, however, that only 4% of magnesium oxide is absorbed and utilized by the body. Forms of magnesium that are better absorbed would likely have even more beneficial effects. So this the magnesium oxide, that shit is trash. A lot of doctors recommend it, and it really doesn't do too much for you because it is poorly absorbed. Anyways, okay, medicating achalampsia, magnesium sulfate given intravenously for achalampsia has been used successfully since early 1900s. Okay, so now you guys know. I mean, I've said enough on that subject. So now we're going on to SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome. Magnesium deficiency has been implicated in sudden infant death syndrome, which has featured in common with sudden cardiac deaths in adults. It may be prevented by giving adequate magnesium to the mother and child. An episode of muscular tension spasm or weakness induced by magnesium deficiency could physically prevent a distressed infant from turning its head when laying face down, thus result in suffocation. The triple risk model for SIDS describes the intersection of three potential risks. Number one, vulnerable newborn who is magnesium deficient. Number two, critical adjustment and development period in a newborn displaying hyperirritability, unsettled cardiovascular and respiratory control, which are magnesium deficiency symptoms. And number three, the inability to cope with an outside stressor such as a high-pitched noise, excessive motion, or handling chill, fever, or vaccination, magnesium deficiency symptoms. Together, these three risks may trigger a shock-like episode of apnea, unconsciousness, and a slow heart rate. Magnesium could easily be given in form of liquid. The beneficial effects of magnesium supplementation are well established for the mother and fetal development for the baby at birth. He calls for a lot. Okay. So now we're talking about cerebral palsy. It can occur in infants who suffer brain hemorrhage during the last stage of pregnancy, either because of the mother's high blood pressure or throughout the other mechanisms that prevent oxygen from getting to the developing baby's brain. It can also be caused by low birth weight and prematurity. In cerebral palsy, the brain is damaged in such a way that it is unable to properly direct muscle function. The brain gives the muscle contradictory signals, and as a result, the muscles look and become spastic or go limp, creating a disabled and incurable condition. Close to half the infants born with cerebral palsy also have mental handicaps. Okay. Since there's no treatment for cerebral palsy, preventing cerebral palsy would be very desirable indeed, asserts neurologist Karen B. Nelson of the National Institution of Health. A groundbreaking study in 1995 showing that very low birth weight in babies in 4 centers in California had a lower incidence of cerebral palsy when their mothers were treated with magnesium sulfate shortly before giving birth. Okay. Researchers calculated that magnesium sulfate reduced the prevalence of cerebral palsy by an astounding 90% and reduced the prevalence of mental retardation by about 70%. It's speculated that magnesium may play a key role in brain development and possibly preventing cerebral hemorrhage in preterm infants. Okay, furthermore, theorized that magnesium may prevent fetal brain hemorrhage or block the harmful effects of diminished oxygen supply to the brain. As for those babies exposed to too much oxygen in an attempt to overcome uterine deficits, magnesium protects the lungs. A 2000 literature review suggests that magnesium chloride may be even more protective for the developing brain than magnesium sulfate. Beyond magnesium supplementation, which should be given to all expectant and breastfeeding mothers, there are certain interventions that can prevent some of the subsequent brain damage to low birth weight infants. Be warned that many over-the-counter supplements for children contain synthetic sweetener aspartame, a potent neurotoxin. You should never expose your child to this chemical. Boom. That's really all I got for this topic. Thank you guys for listening. We're 12 minutes deep and we're still going, man. Happy Manufacts Monday. You know where to shop for the best supplements. www.wlfcelfcre.com. Thanks for watching. Shop with me. Peace.